Yo, what up? It's Aaron Moses, gang. This is a video explaining the first time I got jumped. Now, I've been jumped 3 times, but this I'm doing because I'm filling out an 83 question questionnaire, basically for me to understand myself a little bit better and understand my identity, my strengths, my weaknesses. And one of the questions was, what were 5 things that actually changed your identity? And I think it's very important the times I got jumped. Of course, I can't say collectively, you know, all 3 of those times changed my identity. But the first time that I got jumped was very important. Now, this is like, I had to be in like 6th or 7th grade. I can't remember exactly, but I was at the park with the homeboy Chip. Now, mind you, again, I'm in 5th or 6th grade, right? Flyboy Chip is about a year older than me, right? But we're in the same grade. So he decides to bring his homeboy, John, his name's Pop, and Pop brought his friend and his little brother to the park where I live. We were just gonna kick it and, just hang out. Now, to me, I'm fresh as hell, bro. I had on a baby blue Nike shirt. Damn, Aaron Moses, they beat you up that bad where you remember the exact outfit? Yeah, because that's how it started. Now, I had on a navy blue Nike shirt. I had on some navy blue cargo shorts. And I had this little accessory. Now, if you go to the zoo, I don't know if they still make them now, but they had these little monkeys that have Velcro on the hands. And I'm thinking I'm fly, bro. I had on an Adidas hat, baby blue, and I had on some baby blue and white shoes. To me, I'm fly. But there was the dude's little brother. Like, the dude was cool, bro. The brother was cool. The older brother was cool. He was a light-skinned dude. And the little brother was a little dark-skinned DMX looking at nigga. But he kept on trying to roast me on the low, how I talked, because I spoke quite differently. I spoke a little bit more proper. My voice was obviously not deep because I was only in 6th or 7th grade. So my voice was a little bit more nasally, higher. And like I said, I spoke very properly. And now the thing about Atlanta is very black, right? Which is a good thing. But a lot of times people were not exposed to black guys that didn't speak like they were straight from the hood. I heard a lot of people from, because Atlanta's very diverse as well. A lot of people from New Orleans, a lot of people from places like Gary, Indiana, New York City would come up to me and say, bro, I don't mean to be disrespectful or rude, but I've never heard a black guy talk like you before. This is something that's foreign to me. Now, obviously, I don't speak like that now, but, I could code switch, I could turn it on and off, but whatever the case may be, the dude thought I was pussy, bro. Now, if I'm in 6th grade, 7th grade, nigga, I'm fresh out of Chicago. I'm fresh from getting in fights every day, whether that be at school or with my older cousins, or even with my younger cousins that were going through their own personal problems. And we were just constantly throwing chairs at each other, doing WWE moves on F moves on each other, hitting each other with shoes in the face, hitting each other with rocks, ironically, right? So this dude is just pressing my button. And I had my little sister there. This dude is just pressing my buttons, calling me all kind of derogatory words, that started with an F. I thought I was fresh. It wasn't fresh. It was, the F word. Just, man, you talk white. And just eventually I sat down on this little wall. You know how they have the trees and they have the brick enclosure and the trees in the middle like an island? I was sitting there and I was just thinking, like, bro, don't beat this nigga up because he's so much smaller than you. If I was in like 7th grade, he had to be in like 4th or 5th grade. But this dude, and this is my neighborhood. This is the park that I come to. This is walking distance from my house. This nigga John was already, Pop was already disrespectful, talking about, bro, how old is your mom? I'm like, what? bro, your mom is beautiful. Like, bro, I'll be your stepdad. I'm like, bro, that's not funny at all. This is my mother, bro. Calling my mom fine and all kind of shit, which is whatever, you know, people roast, but I didn't find that to be very funny at the time, right? So this dude is talking all kind of shit. Not John. Well, John did, but I don't even remember the dude's name. Now, finally, I don't remember what I did, but he felt that he was able to take it was a big piece of concrete. It was a big, like, rock. It was about this big. And he threw it towards me. Now, I got up. I slipped on some, what's that called? I slipped on some wood chips, pulled him to the ground, and I'm punching him. And this dude, John, was like, hey, he beating up on your little brother, because the dude had his back turned. I don't know why the dude didn't scream. He didn't yell, nothing. I'm just, I'm on top of his brother. The nigga got up. No, he was already standing up. The nigga ran towards me, and he was punching me in my back. And my adrenaline's going, so I didn't feel it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. By that 5th one, I was like, oh, okay. This is adding. He hit like a bitch. This is adding up. This starts to hurt. So by the 7th punch, I was like, ugh. And I came off his little brother. I slipped. The brother got up, and they commenced to punching me, stomping me. And I looked at Chip. And mind you, Chip is at the time the same age as me. Chip is like 11, 12 years old. And he kind of froze. And I'm thinking he thought that if he jumped in, that John would jump in too. Because I don't know why John, because we were all in like 6th and 7th grade. This little boy was in like 4th or 5th grade. John is in like, I think he got held back twice. Not even trying to be funny or anything like that, but he was driving before all of us. This man had a full mustache and a full beard when we were all in 8th grade. Like, this nigga got held back twice. Whatever the case may be, if we're all like 5'3", John is probably like 5'8", 5'9". He's my height. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in 4th and 5th grade. I mean, not 4th and 5th. I'm in 6th and 7th grade. So Chip was just standing there. Like I said, no, I'm not upset about this situation with Chip and never held it against him. But then, okay, eventually they stopped, and I'm fucked up. And of course, the only thing that I could do, and this is the stupidest ass shit ever. This is the last thing I should have did. The only thing I could do was run out. Of course, at the same time, I'm looking for my little sister. My little sister is in the tennis court. And this is at Hammond Park. In the tennis court, playing basketball with these little white girls. So what did my stupid ass do? I got on my skateboard, right? And if anybody knows Hammond Park, it's like 2 playgrounds. When you first walk in, it's a playground. Then it's another playground like right in the middle to the left. And then it's a big ass hill. That's like a 45-degree angle hill. If you go down that hill long enough on your skateboard and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you're going to fall. I've only been down that hill successfully standing up on my skateboard maybe 2 or 3 times. I'm injured at this point, so my equilibrium is already off. I go down the hill, and guess what happened? Of course, I fell and I rolled for a good. It felt like a lifetime, probably like 10 or 12 seconds. Messed up my collarbone. And then I go down to my sister, Leah, we gotta go. What happened? My knees are all scraped up, my shirt's ripped. And I was like, we gotta go. And they start following me. I'm like, bro, you're not about to beat me up again in front of my sister. I got the skateboard, got a pocket knife. I'm gonna use weapons, my nigga. It's not gonna happen. So we end up making it to back to the crib, which is only like a 5-7 minute walk. And then we go in the house, and I was like, Mom, they jumped me. She was, oh my God, what happened? Oh my God. Go hop in the shower. I'm like, bro, go hop in the shower. I got all this dirt and all these cuts on me. what happened? Your little friend jumped you? I told you I didn't like that little boy. I was like, no, Craig, well, he didn't jump me. He just didn't do shit. And she was like, he didn't do nothing. He just let you get jumped. He brought them ghetto ass little boys over here. I told you. And I was like, bro, yeah, it was messed up. Now, if you don't know, if you never see me in person, when I walk, my right arm doesn't swing as much as my left arm when I walk. That's because of that day that I got jumped. And then I proceeded to try to run by going on my skateboard like it's the movies, bro. Look, if you're watching this and you're a YN, this is not the movies, bro. There are certain things that should only be done if it's a movie. This is not the movies, bro. This is not even logical for me to do. To try to get away. I could have easily just ran, but, and I don't know if my mom's gonna see this, but my collarbone, we didn't go to the hospital, which we should have done, but my collarbone was definitely destroyed. My shoulder was like this, all the way up to my ear for a good 2 or 3 months, and gradually it started to heal itself and came down. But yeah, even when I do certain type of exercises, certain type of movements, it still cracks. It still makes a popping noise. It doesn't hurt or anything like that. But yeah, my shoulder was to my ear like that for a good 2 months. It came down and I had to sleep on my left side, which was weird because I usually sleep on my right side. But yeah, that was the first time I got jumped. That was the worst time because of what I did more than anything. Because the second time I got jumped wasn't as bad for some reason. Oh yeah, because I couldn't really differentiate what actually happened as far as me getting stomped out, and then I had a skateboard accident immediately after that. The second time I got jumped, that was some bullshit too. If you want to hear that story, just let me know in the comments. Have you ever got jumped and how long did it hurt? Now, luckily, these were not grown men, so the pain only lasted outside of the shoulder for like a week. But you know, when you feel pain in different places, sometimes you ignore other ailments that you may have because the pain is being redirected. So whether they stomp my legs or stomp my back or anything like that, it might not have hurt that bad because my shoulder was the most painful thing on my body. Now, yes, I beat that little boy the fuck up, which, I mean, I should have. He shouldn't have threw a fucking rock at me in my neighborhood at my park. I slammed his head on the ground and I was punching the shit out that man, but if I would have just got up and squared up with the brother, I definitely could have got them niggas, bro. But I was just so focused on what I was doing. It was real bad, bro. It was real bad. I think I could have beat both of them the fuck up. Now, I was always a skinny kid, but I don't think that would have mattered, to be honest, because I was already so enraged. He was in protective mode, but I have been so disrespected. If I would have just gave him a good 3-piece, it would have been nice. It definitely would have been. It wouldn't have even mattered. Because what you guys have to understand is, like I said, I'm the youngest out of all my cousins. And we were besides one that actually used to fight with us. Shout out to Tajay. But if I could hold my own against people that's 4, 5, 6 years older than me when I'm 3, 4, 5 years old, what is that, bro? It's nothing. It's nothing. But it is what it is. It's not what it's not. That's the story of the first time I got jumped, man. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell button. Peace, gang.